Original.
Oh,
so what are you?
Maybe I need your papa,
So because Prof is in, you are no more original.
Oh.
Thank you, SF. Thank you. Professor Martin Oteng-Ababio is in studio with us. Prof, good morning.
Good morning.
I hope you're well.
Very.
Yeah, great. First of all, we're just arguing about this thing about what does it take to be a professor?
Well, when we were young, we used to have this magician.
Okay.
Which we call Professor Isa.
Okay.
So he used to call himself a professor.
Okay.
I also want to acknowledge the fact that we have Professor Zuma Nelson.
Okay.
Who was honored with that title through his activities.
Okay.
But if you want to be my type of professor, it's purely academic.
Okay.
I mean, you have to earn it.
Okay.
Through your academic pursuit.
Okay.
And that is what I know of.
Nah.
I just wanted to tell you that we have
different. There are other professors.
Exactly.
Okay, so you are the other type.
I don't want to contest. I have a problem with. I feel about no. He is a professor, and I agree.
Oh, it's nice to have you in studio.
Thank you.
It's been a while.
Yes.
Yeah, and because first, I think the last time I had you in studio, you were Butcher of Forestry Commission.
Yes, I was. Yes.
Okay, you're no longer Butcher of Forestry Commission.
No, I'm at the
You have a new assignment.
Yes, Forest Plantation Development Fund.
Okay, Forest Plantation Development Fund.
Yeah.
Of course, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Subsequently. Okay. I think it's better we start from there anyway. The Forest Plantation Development Fund.
Yes.
Exactly what is it?
Thank you very much. I mean, it is a fund that was established in 2000.
Okay. The year 2000?
Yes.
Okay. So it's been in existence for 26 years, virtually?
Yes. I mean, at least we are in 25, 26 years.
Yes.
And the idea was very simple. Its mandate was to assist those who was to go into forestry plantation.
Okay.
Forest plantation.
Okay.
With some funds to help them to carry on their ambition.
Mm-hmm.
And also try and see whether we can do some research as to how we can protect our forest and also maintain our forest. Mm-hmm. These are the two basic mandates of the fund.
Okay. So 2 things you're supposed to do.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Basically, those 2 things. Yeah. Okay. Which means, and then when you say fund, we're assuming it's money.
Of course, I mean it's money.
Okay. So where is the fund coming from, and what do you use it to do?
So I mean the fund, if you like, let's put it this way: the fund was hived off from the Forestry Commission.
Okay.
So our parent body is the Forestry Commission.
Okay.
So we get our fund from what we call the dry timber.
Okay.
The timber that we export.
Okay.
So we have some specific species of timber that come under the Fund Act that when exported, part of the taxes are given to the fund for us to use to see whether we can replant, as it were.
Okay.
The challenge that the fund board had been over the years. The act has not been reviewed.
Okay.
So most of the species that we used to have our fund from are no more in existence.
Oh, really?
Yes. For example, the odum.
Okay.
Those trees that we used to export in large quantities have all run out of stock.
Okay.
So it's left with very limited number of species that we are confronted with. And I'm in talk with my minister, Honorable Aburi, to see whether he can help us to review the act so that some of the species that we are sponsoring. For example, most of the people that we are helping to plant are planting teak.
Okay.
Meanwhile, teak is not a part of the
Uh-huh.
species that we.
Okay. From which you get the funds.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we are trying to get our minister to
Look at the
help
law
us
again.
to look at the law again.
Okay. So whilst that process continues, I also recently realized that recently you were part of is it a tree planting exercise?
Yeah. No, last year the president launched this Tree for Life.
Okay.
In Kumasi, Ashanti region, in Career, precisely.
Okay.
And this year, in his absence, my minister launched it.
Okay.
In Accra here.
Okay.
At West Africa Secondary School.
Okay.
Where we have in mind of helping the society as a whole.
Okay.
To plant as many as 30 million seedlings.
Okay.
And the fund also, as part of the exercise, helped my alma mater, Institute Catholic Secondary School, to plant trees in the school. We also helped a school in Oti region to also plant trees as part of our mandate.
Okay. Well, two reasons you are mainly that you are in studio. The first one comes from an interesting article you wrote about what we are seeing currently and how we are. In fact, your title is Aburi Hills. A city must not cut its nose to spite its own face. Now, the introduction of the article alone says a lot, where perhaps you're suggesting that due to years of activity, things that we're not supposed to do with the Aburi Hills that we're doing in there, the fast-paced development on the hills that we've watched don't happen, we may be facing the consequences and still not ready to do what is. Have I summarized what you have written? What's your opinion about how important that particular place that we call the Aburi Hills is to the sustenance of the city we call Accra?
No, thank you, Senna. I think that you have watered down my intent.
I apologize.
Because, for example, use the term "we may," as if we are waiting for tomorrow.
Okay.
No.
We are doing that.
We are in it.
Okay.
We are actually paying a price for our. This is radio. I cannot use the word I wanted to use. You understand what I'm saying? We are paying a huge price for deciding to do what we have done to ourselves. And perhaps not appearing to have noticed what we are doing to ourselves.
Okay.
So I think, first of all, we need to understand one basic fact.
Okay.
Flooding in Accra has moved from becoming episodic hazard to a permanent issue, crisis that we are confronted with.
Explain that.
So, in time past, as early or as late as 2006, for example, before flooding can happen in Accra, if you look at the data, then you should have had rainfall running to about 120 millimeters, heavy rainfall. Today, 65, 70 inches of rainfall create havoc than it used to create in time past. That tells us that things are not what they should be. In other words, rainfall that ought not have given us any wahala is creating havoc than it used to do in the past. So that should serve as, it's not episodic. I mean, it's not like once a while something. is something that we would continue to experience if we don't try to do what is right.
Okay.
We also have to appreciate this fact that in many times when we want to talk about rainfall and flooding and the causes,
Okay.
we tend to limit our explanation to weak laws and poor regulation and enforcement.
Okay.
We forget completely the governance issue.
Okay.
The governance issue in the midst of plurality of institutions that we have.
Okay.
Once we do that, we virtually, as it were, forget about accountability among institutions.
Okay.
We have plurality of institutions that are supposed to help us manage the geographical space. True.
Okay.
These institutions are supposed to work in tandem, one another, to help succeed. In fact, they are like a system. A system is made up of various subsystems, and each of them should work to make the system work.
Okay.
Once one system breaks down, the whole system breaks down.
Okay.
If we don't look at it from that perspective, and we always look at the symptoms of the problem, for example, and I hope you would agree with me, one of the major reasons cited for flooding in Accra is waste management.
Yes.
I disagree completely.
That waste disposal is not.
It has nothing to. It's a victim. It's a lazy man's approach to the issue.
Okay.
Have you seen the floodwaters taking cars away? Have you seen that?
Yes.
Have you seen floodwaters pulling down buildings?
Yes.
The only time waste becomes a problem is when waste is mixed with mud.
Okay.
Then it starts. It cannot move. Is that right?
Yes.
The question that you and I would have to ask, where from the mud? Where from the mud to the extent that it will come to mix with our waste to make the waste stack and choke the gutters. If you go to Odo now, the channel now, we have a constant machine in there, desilting.
Yes.
And it has gone on for the past 12 years.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
But every year, it gets choked up, it gets silted again. What you and I should ask, where from the salt?
Okay.
And if we cannot get the source of the salt, then we see it means that we cannot get the problem of flooding solved. That's the reason why I have cautioned over the years that deforesting the Aburi hills is trying to cut our nose to spite our face.
Okay.
If you have chance to see the water coming from the hills today, you see the force with which it's coming down. And because it's coming with that force, it erodes all the topsoil downstream.
Okay.
And the topsoil coming down is the salt.
Okay.
And when that salt comes into contact with the so-called waste, it chokes the gutters. It is not a waste.
So you're saying the waste on its own,
yes,
will ordinarily not choke gutters?
At all. When it's raining, go and stand in front of a Carnation and see the amount of waste that is being pushed away.
Okay.
All waste, even including cars, I'm saying that including cars,
yes,
being washed away.
Okay.
And I'm saying that the waste will not wash away when it comes into contact with only when it comes into contact with salt.
Okay.
What we should be able to avert our mind to is where the silt is coming from.
Okay.
And it's coming from the top hill, which we have watched unconcerned for us to, as it were, remove everything. For what reason, I don't know.
I see. So you're saying the big problem we have
Yes.
is with that particular hill and what we've been doing there.
Yes, two things.
Okay.
So in the 50s, 56, when Nkrumah put up the presidential suit there,
Okay.
remember all those areas were declared security zones.
Okay.
In fact, research tells us 95, 92% of the hilltop should not be used for residential purposes.
Okay.
Today, almost all those areas have been, as it were, built. And what we succeed in doing, once you make the place impervious, the slightest rain, instead of percolating into the soil, moves down comfortably with speed. And as it moves down comfortably with speed, it erodes the topsoil.
Okay.
Underneath of the hills used to be wetlands,
Okay.
which then serve as a sponge
Oh, okay.
to hold this water in time past and let it discharge them gradually.
Okay.
Unfortunately, too, these wetlands have been nicely filled and built.
Oh.
So, in time past, when it's coming from the top, it gets to downstream. There's wetlands
That holds the water.
that will hold the water and discharge them gradually.
Okay.
The speed has been increased, the frequency has been increased with the paving of the top.
Okay.
You get a point?
Yes.
When it gets down, the wetlands that ought to have hold it has also been filled and built.
So it continues there.
Exactly. That's the reason why if you go to Adenta when it's raining, you should be very careful. I said it the last time at another station. I joined University of Ghana in 1982 when I did my first, I entered as a first year student.
1982.
82.
Okay. That's a long time ago.
Yes. And I've done my master's there, and I've done my PhD there, and I'm a lecturer there. So I have the institutional memory.
Okay.
All these years, Lagos had never ever witnessed flooding until recently.
Okay. Legon is now flooding.
Exactly. Anytime it rains, we have Sabah Hall getting flooded. We have Central CAF getting flooded. We have PDMSD getting flooded. All because of the volume of water coming from unpeded. In time past, the floodplains would have.
Okay.
And it transcends from the Ayimensan stretch out to Medina.
Okay.
All wetlands along the stretch have been consumed. Go to atomic energy. Even the wetlands that Orid, not Orid, Garib,
Okay.
decided to construct to hold water coming from that eastern part has also been taken over. So it is a deliberate, a suicide path, if you like, that we have. Those downstreams are just being asked to pay the price for what people have done upstream. And that's the truth.
I see. So you're saying everything we are seeing currently, we have brought it upon ourselves by our actions.
Nothing more, nothing less. It's our choices. The choices that we have made is the price that we are paying. Are you saying that you are not aware that the Pambros area is a floodplain area?
Yes.
Once you decide to build, fill and build, and because water cannot hold itself, it will find a way to get to the sea. We will always say what we are saying.
So you are saying that even those who have built in some areas should know.
In fact, it's not that they don't know. They failed before they built. So they knew what they were doing was wrong. Have you gone to, I think it's Gas Central, their assembly building? It's in a water-prone area. When it rains, they can't go to the assembly. It's just a big story building.
Even the assembly.
Even the assembly. Yes. So my point is this. It is not because we don't know. And it's not because we don't have the technocrats. We have them. They know how to manage the multiplicity of institutions and allow them to function as they are supposed to function. It's the price that we are paying. Haven't you seen stop work,
Produce
permit, whatever, AMA or whatever it is? Yet, don't worry, we are at the top roofing. What changed? We've gotten to a point that we need to call a spade a spade. That's the reason I wrote that article. That a city should not cut the nose to spite the face.
Is that not where the issue of enforcement comes in? Because there are those who feel that if you had decided many years ago and this backed by research, concrete research, that the Aburi Hills is a no-go area, and that even the marshy areas just at its feet are no-go areas. It was somebody's job to ensure that that law is upheld, that nobody breaches that law. If that person fails, has that person not failed with enforcement?
So you see, enforcement in its own doesn't talk about the story. Who is enforcing what?
Okay.
The first that I'm saying is that we should appreciate the multiplicity of institutions involved in this fight, in this issue.
Okay.
We have the chiefs, for example, they sell the land. We have the assemblies. We have the EPA. Each and every one of these institutions should not be allowed to work in silos.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
We should appreciate the interdependence in this.
Okay.
Who sold that wetland to that developer?
Okay.
Who sold it? Where did he get the permit
From? Okay.
from?
To build even.
To build in the first place. And where was EPA? So if we come to appreciate these facts, then we will not plan in silos. We will plan with those who are all involved in the implementation process. We plan, implement, monitor with all of them.
So one of the things you are suggesting is that there's a lack of coordination. You're saying chiefs are a big part of this. You are talking about the fact that the EPA, maybe the Forestry Commission may also be called in, that you're seeing all those institutions working in silos rather than working together.
You see, there's what we call institutional coalitions.
Okay.
if you don't appreciate the synergy in what they do, the private sector, the developer takes advantage of the gap between them to do what they look. Enforcement should be seen to be sustainable.
Okay.
The private sector monitors the institutions. They know that, even when I build here, the assembly may occasionally come and pull it down. Occasionally.
They anticipate that.
Exactly. They know it. It's not. You also know it.
Okay.
Unless you want to pretend you don't. They don't do it. It's not a sustained enforcement.
Okay.
If the private sector is convinced beyond every reasonable doubt that this thing that I'm doing, hook or crook, will be pulled down, they will not invest. They have in mind it may be pulled down, but with time it can be regularized. Then he will risk to put it down. But if enforcement is made in such a way that we all can anticipate what is going to happen, if I enter into this arena, my house will be pulled down, then nobody will venture. This episodic monitoring, demolition, does not assume that confidence that you need to fight the sort of fight we have.
Very interesting, because I don't know if you listen to him say this. One of the people who have constantly talked about this is Kojo Chumwafo.
Yeah.
He has always maintained that, for example, a building like Villaggio should not be where it is. That's even a sink. So, is it to suggest that we do not know? We know where the sinks were, where you were not supposed to touch, where you were not supposed to go to. Do this multiplicity of institutions know these things? Did they know it?
So, Sena, that is exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Situation where we allow developers to think that there's a power that I can exploit to get my development going on.
Okay.
Have you ever seen the speed with which our assemblies break down informal settlement? When they are demolishing informal settlement, the speed.
Yes.
Look at what they did to Aburi. Within 2 hours, the whole 130 were grounded and walled. Is that right?
Yes.
How many times have they gone to Sakumono? How many times? Not hours, days. How many days? I hope you understand.
Yes.
Such selective action give people the confidence that if I'm able to exploit the system better, I'll succeed. But if we are doing the same as we do to those in the informal settlement, those who do not have the power, the speed with which we are breaking down people's buildings, if we do it across board and we sustain that, then everybody will come to this time.
You must be careful.
I must be careful. But once in some geographical area, there's wait and see attitude. In some other area,
it's aggressive.
Aggressive and very swift.
Okay.
Then it becomes a bit discriminatory. Then it becomes those who have the wherewithal to think that they will succeed. And that's where we are.
Well, I think I'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk to Prof about how to solve this problem, because it looks like we have a problem. What do we do? Can we reverse the things we've been doing over the years, or how should we approach this?
Good energy powers the things that people.
Professor Martin Oteng-Ababio is in studio with us. Prof, this is from Nicholas Laguna in the UK. It says the development on and around the Peduasi Hills is a major source of concern. And Prof has perfectly analyzed it. The beauty of that vegetation has been destroyed and causing the flooding so easily. In addition, my observation is that the rocks are sedimentary. And with the construction of the hill, it is being disturbed, which caused some layers of the rock to fall onto the road, and they have to use nets to hold them up.
Perfectly.
His observations are accurate.
Perfect. Sedimentary rocks are in layers. They are not like igneous rocks. Igneous rocks are very hard.
Okay.
Sedimentary rocks are sediment that have been hardened.
Okay.
And so they are always in layers.
Okay.
And because they have, as it were, cleared all the vegetation, the water is seeping through the layers.
The layers of the rock. Okay.
And gradually is slipping. That's what we experience landslide.
Okay.
Pushing the layers because it's on a slopey area, you know that.
Okay.
So once water is getting through the layers, the top is slipping down, and occasionally you see the road blocked.
Okay.
And we are even fortunate. We don't have many settlements downstream.
Okay.
Like the one that comes to mind is Aimensa. And we should be careful. In some areas, you have huge landslides want to come and cover.
Should that also be a concern?
A major concern because it's a very busy road.
Okay.
And if you look at the architecture
Okay.
today, because the road they cut through the road, the mountain,
Okay.
to pave the road. Now, if you're using the road and you're not very careful, the likelihood of a slide coming down is very high. And we should be worried about that. That's the reason why we have to use, as it were, wire gauze to cover that face. But what is wire gauze when a landslide is coming?
Is that the same thing we have on the Kaswa stretch, for example, where we have this constant, every time it rains?
In fact, they are twin brothers, if you like. The same thing. And on the Kaswa stretch, it's also serious because it's very clay.
Okay.
So it washes down easily and chokes up, covers all the road and makes the road very impassable. And it should be concerned to all of us.
But does that create a higher danger of a serious case of mudslide in the future? Because you're talking about that part is clay.
In fact, compare that one to Aburi. Aburi is a bit something we should be worried about. There it's in layers. So sliding is very, very easy if it has to.
Okay.
There is clay. It washes down, so it comes in silt form.
Okay.
So yes, it can be dangerous, but not as the one that we are experiencing in Aburi.
Now, in fact, yesterday, like I said, I had a conversation with Kojo Chumbuafo where he's talking about carefully studying this rather than just rushing into action. That you need to spend time to try to understand what the current situation is before you jump into action and say, I'm doing A or B. Do you agree that perhaps we need to go back and try to understand the real impact, how the water moves, where it moves through before we start acting?
Well, I don't want to say Kojo is wrong.
Okay.
But this is not something that happened today.
Okay.
And a lot of research work has already been done.
Okay.
We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We really know what is happening.
Okay.
We know the causes of this. Okay. We know where we are going. Okay. What is left with us is the choices that we have to make. Okay. Whether we want to go on like this, or we want to have some intervention that would perhaps save the situation. I mean, education has no end, so we can still continue learning. For example, most of the wetlands have been taken.
Okay.
What can be a better option in the absence of wetlands?
Okay.
But the point I want to stress is that the major cause of what we are doing is known.
Okay.
It's known in academia. It's known in
At the institutional level.
At the institutional level, everybody knows this.
Okay.
What we don't want to perhaps accept is the human aspect that we are adding to it.
Okay.
Because, come to think of it, the Aburi Hills again. In my article, I mentioned we have Land Quantanai giving permit. We have Gan East giving permit. We have Aquapem South giving permit.
Okay.
So if you look at what they have done, in fact, they crisscross one another. So it means even at that level, there's no coordination. The same plot that has been issued to Mr. A at one assembly have been issued to Mr. B
In
another assembly. That tells us there's something wrong somewhere. And they all know that that area is dangerous to build. So it's not like we don't know where we are coming from. We know. And like I'm saying, yes, perhaps because we have already consumed most of the wetlands, in the absence of wetlands, wetness could warrant a new, as it were, research.
Okay.
But the greater part of the story is known.
We know. Okay. So the first thing you are talking about is where you're talking about synergy of institutions.
Yeah.
So there's, first of all, the assemblies should work together.
Yes.
Much more.
Yes.
Who should be responsible for that coordination? We have a Ministry of Local Government there, Local Government Institute, among others, that you're saying increased coordination is what we did.
No, but so now you know that within the assembly, we have all these institutions working together.
Okay.
Yeah. So in the assembly, we have an admin person there. We have a
Town and country
person there. We have fire people there. We have EPA. If these people should work as expected, and we should exact accountability to each institution, then we might not even get to where we are getting to.
Okay.
But once we allow them to work as independent bodies, there's no relational coordination among them. Then we would have inter and intra.
Okay.
These institutional overlaps. And once there's a gap, there's an overlap, it will be exploited by the private developer.
Is that the same problem you see at the level of institutions like EPA versus the Forestry Commission versus the Water Resources Commission, that there's a lack of synergy? They are unable to come together to solve a problem. Because somebody famously told us that even the water that Ghana Water Company Limited uses, is virtually the product or the property of the Water Resources Commission. So it means that they are supposed to ensure that the water is clean for them. And there are some of the water that's also maybe falls under the Forestry Commission because of where they are cited, among others. Do you see that coordination at that level? Because those institutions have some of the most highly qualified human resource.
I perhaps disagree with the analogy that I've made.
Okay.
I disagree. Because I know at the regional level,
Okay.
there's some level of coordination among them.
Okay.
What perhaps appears to be a problem is about licensing,
Okay.
where it's done from one institution to the other.
Okay.
So at times, for example, within the area of Galamsey, for example, if you go to Mineral Commission to do license, you have to go for EPA. You have to go for forestry clearance. You have to go for water. Before you can get all these done, before you can move from one institution to the other, centuries might have elapsed.
Okay.
And so most of the time, like going for a permit to build, and you have to wait for centuries. Then the prospective developer will decide to build without
Whilst
permit.
waiting for the
Exactly. That appears to be the problem that we have with those institutions when it comes to that level. But water being in forest might be in a forest reserve, but it's still under the jurisdiction of
the Water Resources Commission.
Exactly. You understand? So even when you want to do anything in the forest, which has to be sanctioned by the Forestry Commission, once you get near the water,
you are within the jurisdiction of the Water Resources
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. Then there's also the issue of where building on the, let's say, because I think they have a Nicholas Laguda used the correct name.
Wetland.
The Peduase Hill.
Yes.
Which is really part. Is it the Aburi Hill? When they say Peduase, they are talking about the Aburi Hills.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Where building there becomes an issue of a symbol of affluence. That I have arrived. I am also there. Now, some of the leading, most influential people are the political class. They usually hold power. And some of them, you can see, are cited on that mountain. Does that not make our work difficult? That the person who holds ultimate power is part of the problem. That I cannot deal with that person because you report back to that person ultimately.
You see, we cannot deny the influence of power in all these. Like I said, if you go to any of these wetlands and you are like me, perhaps I'm better than somebody. But if you put up a building in a wetland, it will be pulled off without sweat. But the same wetlands, if somebody comes in, he does it with impunity. That's why I cited a case of Sakumono and Aburi.
Okay.
Yeah? When a time came, they felt that they had to demolish Aburi. 2 hours.
It was done.
Yes. 33-acre plot with all these things on. 2 hours, they succeeded clearing every debris from the site and walled the area. It's walled now.
It's easier to deal with the poor than the rich.
That is exactly what I'm trying to talk about.
If that's the case, then, Prof, what are... because you're saying that we need to... Okay, we've lost the wetlands. So what is the other solution? What do you think we need to do urgently if we want to salvage the situation?
Sina, I think that, you see, the time has come for us, all of us, to eschew occasional intervention that we do.
Okay. It is raining, so let's pull down buildings.
This crisis-driven intervention should cease. We should put up a sustained monitoring and enforcement. And that would be the only signal we can give to all citizenry who want to do the wrong thing. If our enforcement is not sustained, and we continue with this episodic crisis-driven intervention, demolition, monitoring, it won't work. We will not get anywhere. I also think that it's about time we involve the community in our interventions. We plan with them, not plan for them. We should involve everybody. Remember, the flooding that we are experiencing today have a category of people who are suffering.
Okay.
Some might not. I visited Airport Hills 3 days ago, and I was happy. Not happy because it has also gotten flooded.
What did you see that video?
I said, at least for once, those in the affluent society are also experiencing what people have experienced over the years at Odona. You understand?
Yeah.
Every rainy season, those in Odona have to go through and dry and wear. If you go to Airport Hills, some were at the window levels.
Really?
Yes. So, and I think that it is not something that we need to. I don't want to sound a bit alarming. Sound like an alarmist, no. But it's rare. Motorway was not getting flooded. It started flooded 3-4 years back. And it was ending at the motorway.
Okay.
Today, it has transcended motorway and got to Airport Hills.
Okay.
So it just only tells us that it's about time that you get to where you are. So let's all try and mount a sustained education involving the community in this discourse.
Okay.
Let the chiefs also be aware that they have a price to pay for what we are all doing. Once we involve the community, we involve all stakeholders, including even those estate developers who are eager consuming the wetlands and the floodplains. And the discourse, then I think we'll be getting somewhere. And I think that we also, more importantly, try and let the technocrats work.
Okay.
There's a worrying situation I have realized at the National Disaster Management Organization.
Okay.
They are supposed to be one of the frontliners in disaster management.
Okay.
I'm not very sure the level of knowledge we've given them to be able to push this agenda.
Okay.
I'm saying that because of how NADMO as an institution has been handled over the years.
Yeah. As far as we know, NADMO gives relief items when you have disaster.
That is a bit unfortunate. In one of my articles, I termed them blanket and rice organization.
So it's something that you have observed.
It is not being observed. They know it.
Okay.
So the only point I'm saying is that if you want somebody to give off his best, equip the person with the requisite knowledge, capacitate the person.
Okay.
Because disaster risk reduction is not something that you can just pick. It's a mentality.
Okay.
It's something that we plan for. We don't react to.
Prof, is it not the attitude of because it's becoming the way our institutions are arranged? Most of what is done, most of the time, disregards research work. That we do not build on knowledge first. Is that not the problem?
With NADMO, I see the problem coming from what we have done over the years.
Okay.
making the organization as if part of our political system.
Mm-hmm.
So once a government changes, heads are moved around, heads are brought in to assume positions. I'm not totally against change.
Okay.
But once the change happens, there should be a conscious effort to train them to do what they are supposed to do.
Okay. What do you think they are supposed to do, because, Prof? We hear National Disaster Management Organization. But what we see is that it feels their job is to manage a disaster after it has occurred, not to prevent it. Because that's what we see.
So I'm going to push for a name change.
Okay.
That we should have a National Disaster Reduction Organization. We should strive to reduce the incident of disaster.
Okay.
Because waiting for disaster to happen and go and manage it is a disaster in itself. Because we as a country are not that prepared to be able to respond adequately to any serious calamity. Haven't you realized NADMO is in a position where there's a disaster, they move in and identify the problem, and now they will be soliciting for assistance to manage it.
Yes.
That should not be. They should be proactive. They should be trained to be proactive, to identify the various hazards in the community and try to work to resolve it before it turns into a disaster. That is cheaper and safer than allowing the disaster to happen before you solve it. And I'm saying that we are not doing this because perhaps this understanding is not perhaps inculcated into that organization. And we need to do that.
One of the suggestions that we made is that perhaps we need to protect what we have. What we haven't, destroyed yet. So you're hearing, most of the times we do some of this advice for people who are shouting, I have, land in Shire Hills. I have this and that here. That is, like you said, proactive monitoring and enforcement. Should it go to those areas that we are here to enter? Because maybe there's a marshy area somebody is here to fill. How should our attitude change to the point where we are protecting what we haven't lost yet, whilst trying to recover what we have lost?
So, Sina, I'm not by any stretch of imagination trying to say that we cannot necessarily build in a flood-prone area.
Okay. We can?
We can. If the engineering work is done properly.
Okay.
You understand? That's the reason why before you build, you have to seek the buy-in of the assembly by looking for the building permit.
Okay.
So the assembly would ascertain where you are building. Is it very compatible with the type of structure you want to put there?
Okay.
If it is not, they will advise you same. All what I'm saying is that let's allow the institutions to work. And let's equip them to work appropriately. And let's exert accountability on each institution that we have. Situation where we have planners and assemblies, perhaps always looking for a landowner to perhaps get a plot or two. Rezone and get a plot or two. Should cease.
Okay.
A planner who subtains the building in an unauthorized area should pay a price for it. Accountability should be exerted on that part. Because all these buildings that we're talking about are within a particular jurisdiction, one jurisdiction or the other. And we have DCs in these jurisdictions, isn't it?
Yes.
And they head the planning and the committee.
Okay.
So they have sanctioned it. And a building is not like a kiosk that you can build somewhere and come and put in 1 hour. It travels over the years. So where were the monitoring? So let's allow each institution to work. Let's avoid occasional monitoring, and let's work to sustain enforcement. We will get to where we want to get to.
And let me conclude by asking you, because right now, people will say, okay, Dansoman is well planned. Some parts of Dansoman, in fact, the Pambros area that you're talking how supposed to be part of Dansoman, they get flooded. But what was done by a champon doesn't usually experience that problem. People talk about Tema, well planned area. If this continues, would there be anywhere that is too well planned to be affected?
So I don't know whether you were hearing me very well.
Okay.
Did I tell you that when I went to West Hills, I was happy? It's a well-planned area.
Okay.
In fact, if you go to Community 6 today, it's soaked. So it's a question of, and I've told you about Legon. Well-planned.
Yes.
Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah.
So from where we are going, I don't see any place, perhaps in the section of my geographical location, where I am. I'm on the top of some mountain, and before the flood water gets there, I'll be heading towards my hometown, Sucha. So, but apart from that, I see every place vulnerable.
Nowhere is safe?
Nowhere is safe to the extent that even if you don't get flooded, where will you pass to where you make a living? Where? I don't know where you stay. If Kaneshi, the runabout and the Obejabila get flooded, can you come to work?
No.
And if you are here and the place can you get home? So it's not like a question of, yes, we have those who get more affected. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
But each one of us do have a price to pay. In fact, if for nothing at all, I can tell without any fear of contradiction, the reason why typhoid fever is on the rise is because of the flood waters that nicely irrigate our vegetables and the salad and the cucumber that our brothers grow on the shoulders of. You know, when the gutters get flooded, they settle on these vegetables that have been planted on the shoulders. The flood water that settled on it is not just water. It's water that has dissolved a number of things which I don't want to mention this morning.
Heavily contaminated.
I don't want to say that. And these are the very vegetables that end up on our tables. So if you look at the league table of diseases that we have today, typhoid is about number 3. And you only get typhoid when you have taken, excuse my language, shit. And in this case, perhaps a very poor man's shit. Because we the talkers who shit on openly defecate, is that right?
Yeah.
The rich man, they on a silver plate or golden plated WC. So you be chopping things. I mean, I don't know whether you get my point.
Yeah.
So we all have a price to pay. It's a price that we need to, as it were, collectively. Everybody has a price to pay.
Prof, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Professor Martin Oteng-Ababio is a professor of geography Am I correct?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Urban geography.
Yes. And so he knows exactly what he's talking about. He's been doing this since 1982. Where were you in 1982? So we've been talking to him about Accra's flood problem that gets worse by the year. What is the cause? What needs to be done? And I hope you heard everything he said. Prof. Waseke, thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you for having me.
Well, happy birthday to Second Lieutenant Karen Queen. Happy birthday to you. And happy birthday to Honorable James Agaga, who also celebrates his birthday today. We'll see you tomorrow with another edition of the Gold Morning Conversation. Coming up next is the Made Morning Show with DJ Abega. Stay tuned.
Obo, me who ye? What's for Rudia so? Adai.
And then me we yabo. Doctors me nya hepatitis B.
And you know what? Oh, hine yire. Dr. Akosia Dia ya. What power specialist